everyone, it's NonnaGrace, and I'm from Western New York. Today the sun shone. It was actually quite nice out. Jim went outside to split wood. Is that what you were doing? Splitting wood?
I got everything split now that can be split.
Well,
Everything that's left is all angled and can't
be done.
Can't really be split.
Well, while you were outside, I was watching videos, but I had a thought while I was watching a video, because Shay, Sassy Granny's vlog, she was talking about her little grandchild and how it was pretending to cry when she was holding a baby doll. It was a cute little story that she told, but it made me remember when my sister and I were in the hospital. Years ago, they used to take tonsils and adenoids out just randomly. Not randomly, just automatically.
Yeah.
I guess that's the word I was
As a routine.
As a routine, that's right. My mother had my brother Joe go. He went by himself because he was old enough. And then she had my brother Anthony, Laurel, Lucy, or not Lucy, sorry. She had Anthony, Laurel, Anita, and I go at the same time, and Lucy went by herself. But they didn't like taking your tonsils out until you were at least 4 years old. But Anita used to have, did I mess up again with the names?
I don't think so.
I don't know. It was Anita who used to get earaches all the time. She was actually too young to have the surgery, but because she used to have earaches all the time, they decided that they would take her tonsils out and her adenoids, and maybe it would fix the ear problem. They didn't do tubes like they did when Emily was little. Emily had tubes put in her ears twice. Well, anyways, we were in the hospital, all four of us at one time. Can you imagine? And they kept us overnight because we lived too far from the hospital. If you lived close, you could go home that same day that they took your tonsils out. But we had to stay overnight. And when we were there, Anita was crying and crying and crying, and the nurse goes, "What's wrong with her?" And I said, well, maybe she wants a bottle, because she was still drinking a bottle now and then. So she brought her a bottle, but that wasn't what she wanted. And I said, well, she wants me to get in her crib with her. And the nurse goes, oh, but we can't do that. And I said, well, then just move my crib over and I'll hold her hand. So the nurse moved my crib over next to her crib, and I held her hand, and she stopped her crying. What it was is Anita was so used to me being right there with her all the time, and she needed the comfort. And so it brought that to mind about sisters. And so sisters belong together. And that's like the song. It says, sisters, sisters, they were never any better sisters. But Lord help the mister that comes between me and my sister. But Lord help the sister that comes between me and my man. That's the only part that I know of that song. There's a lot more to it, but I don't know it. And let's see. And I also was watching, I don't know if it was, I think it was Shay Still. She mentioned something about not wanting to do videos when her husband comes home. Well, you know what, Shay? You will get used to it eventually if you would have him there. It makes it easier to talk sometimes. I find it easier to talk to have Jim here. When I first started, I didn't want anybody around either, because you feel kind of ridiculous just talking to a camera. But every now and then, I at least have a face to look at. And even though it's his, it gives me something to feel like I'm not just talking to a camera, and I'm not crazy. As people sometimes say, they must think I'm crazy. Well, you know what? With all these phone little things in people's ear, and people talking, or people holding their phone up and talking, they don't think anything of it. They're thinking that you're FaceTiming or you're talking on the telephone. But when I was growing up, I remember standing next to my mom, because she used to talk when she was in a grocery store. But she was talking to herself. And so we used to stand next to her so that people wouldn't think she was crazy. There was actually an advertisement about Tops, and that's the store that we used to shop in. And it says, Tops Supermarket has people, so you don't have to talk to yourself. So apparently people were talking to themselves a lot. they were trying to decide whether this was a better buy or that was a better buy because they didn't have those little things underneath the product to tell you which one was the better buy. You had to figure it out yourself. So that meant you did mental math, or you talked out loud and did mental math out loud. Well, I have a little, do I have a little video? No, I don't have a little video today, come to think of it. Sorry,
I guess
there's nothing else to add. So I hope you all have a great day. And there was one time somebody was trying to figure out how many days are in the month. They weren't sure if there was 30 or 31. Well, if you know the little rhyme, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February, which has 28 most of the time. But on leap year it has 29. So this month has 31 days. And we're on day 29. Only a couple more left. And then you go into January, which also has 31 days. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. Yeah, 31. I had to think a minute. I say the rhyme all the time. And there's a little song that goes with that one too. Like you ask the person how many days in the week. Can you answer that?
7.
And how many weeks in a year?
52.
I've learned. Once again, the battery, or the camera was full, and the battery looked like it was getting, but it doesn't look like it now. Now I don't see the red of it anymore. So the battery must be good, but the camera died. But I was saying that now I've learned that lesson, and I'm still confessing the following isn't too clear, and that's where you go into the 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February, which has 28 most of the time, but on leap year, 29. Well, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.